All right. Good morning. And now we need to lose that. And then, actually, it was almost done. Fine. All right. So I've got an application that does the menu configuration for our charity tournament, where people can request units to be spawned for their champion based on their donation. Since the menu has units, I have a little program that collects all of the unit icons. What we're looking at doing this year is bringing in the Legion expansion as an option for the players and a few of the units. So I'll need all of the icons for that. Actually, I'm not sure if this computer's Legion is up to date. I think I saw it here. Yeah. Actually, it's probably not. Do you have any local changes? Okay. Does it have a default server? No. Oh, well, we have to fetch it first. Get fetch. All that stuff. So this is like old code. Fortunately, that might have to download for a little bit. But we know it's going to be end up in Legion expansion. It's not really going to change anything. Oops, wrong window. That might be a client thing. PA units. And there's the build bar icons. So we just have Legion expansion client. As long as I didn't rearrange the folder structure. So before we had PA and PAX1, but that had media. So we have to have Legion. This is a helper library. So I'm going to do it on server mod dev. And then it is Legion expansion. Client, and that actually should put us in a comparable place. Let's see, were we setting this up? Media plus slash. So no, we don't want the slash here. So images. So this is, actually I guess I should have grabbed PA, huh? Legion. Still downloading. I should have thought of that ahead of time. Unit star. And in the actual ultimate placement, everything gets merged together, so that should be fine. So we also got unit descriptions. Okay, this is actually a bit of a leftover. So this is using spec files. Well, proc. What is proc? Process unit files. And hello. Yeah, I mean, I kind of ought to get a standing setup for my other computer so I can at least do that some of the time. Gets a little awkward with the multiple monitors and things. So I've never quite figured out a good way to do that. So this is the task proc. Do I proc? Oh no, this is for something else. Oh yeah, this is actually the test for that. Did I have a thing for unit stats? Unit info, yes. So this is just a total, yeah, spec.spec files. I'm going to have to implement that a little bit. What? Okay, yes, there's been a lot of tags. All right, so we can capture the icons. I'd forgotten about the unit info descriptions. Spec. Spec files from. Oh, okay, it does take a media path. So we should be able to work with that. Yeah, undefined media, okay. Specs looks like an array. So we should be able to do, better yet. No, it's array. Legion. Did I already have a terminal for this? I don't think so. Donation info. Yeah, actually, like, for a long time, I did all my PA stuff on this computer. At some point, I said, well, if I'm doing all this multi stuff, maybe I should have a nice thing to run it on. And then that also became a better computer for streaming. I'm actually doing NDI to my PC to do the encoding, so it's a little bit less heavy on this computer, which is still running its fan a bit. All right, so our default task is info copy images. We'll still take them one at a time. Well, we can just see if it runs. Then break it down. Copy.images missing. Pardon? Why is it ImageMin? Actually, yes. Why is it copy images? Contrib copy, contrib ImageMin. Oh, you know what? I was probably running that directly, and that was the default one. I never updated that. All right, so that's one thing we should probably do. All right, so unit info. Torpedo launcher, hover ship. Yeah, I may have got the path wrong. I'm not seeing anything new here. All right, well, let's check on the images, see if that worked. We need donation info. Okay, so we got a bunch of L. Okay, drone carrier. I don't know what the triggered was. But it looks like we got the image part working. But not the images, or not the unit stats. So... probably redefining specs wasn't great. So let's see if we're even getting anything. Let's look at cat to get anything from this. I mean, the image path worked out okay. Maybe it's still too specific to the PA directories. And that is info. Syntax error, missing after argument list. Okay, so I did take off one too many. Okay, so that is not working. Spec files. Did I actually update one on grunt file Legion? We know that it's somewhat correct because we got the images. It's not like we just typoed the path. Okay. Oh, Right, because he also shadowed a couple things. That's an interesting print order. What if it's only... so is it just giving me all the original ones first, or are we not actually getting any Legion stuff? $489 is a lot of items. But I actually need to see all of them to see if they're there. Can I just put console.login as a function? I don't know if I can. All right. That's something else that it's printing out? What am I... Nope, that's that. Is it like an array of arrays? Okay. Was somewhat special there. Okay, we've got our build arms. Not seeing any Legion stuff. So I must have not made this... No, wait a minute. We're passing this. Maybe the way this interprets CWD is different than the way the regular grunt file interprets it. So I would need to, and it doesn't actually support ... or has a different base directory somehow. Path. This might be an older one, but it is. No, that's a relatively complete one. That might be more of a complete path. So we need. Is it CWD? Is it... actually, I have a browser open. And we have updates. All right, node, current, working. Yep. Our donation app needs to be updated. So I need to grab all the extra data for the Legion tournament and then actually update the menu. Child process, child process. Start child with parent DIRs, current working DIR. This is like a little bit more advanced than I need. And node child process, yeah. Current script. Running node bin script. Path.dir name. File name. Process.cwd. So for this, not still path. Yeah, well, I mean, the game's written in JavaScript, so that's kind of the obvious thing to use, and I was somewhat familiar with these tools at the time. So can't just do Legion here. We need process.cwd. Can we just do plus and let it sort it out? Okay, we need an extra slash there. For one. No, it's slightly, well, this is the print from the previous one where we do the base level stuff. Can I actually arrange this? We print it out and then we print, so that will actually print nothing. So print media, and then I guess if we do media and then that. I've done a lot of stuff. Lately it's been, some of my JavaScript's been turning into Elm. There was a lot of Ruby recently for the web application things. I've done C and C++, SQL, microcontroller code, dabbled in a bunch of other things. Whatever kind of seemed to get the job done at the time. Okay, so yes, that is double empty array from that. That's a little bit redundant right now. But our media path, why are you not expanding? Because I think they had a PA directory in there. We got our images just fine. Legion? You're... Uh-oh. Ooh. That's network. My backup going off again. You are, although you don't seem to be doing anything. Let me... And you are actually trying to upload stuff. Don't do that right now, please. I need to make a note to try and fix my backup schedule sometimes. Alright, so that should be over. So we have client. PA units. Wait. Oh, because that's not client stuff. Although I thought that... Oh, that's probably shared. No, that's UI. That's AI. Okay, so we're actually going to have to go over to server for that. So we actually need... We can't really build this in. Legion plus client. Might as well at that point. And then this is, we probably don't actually need this anymore. Legion plus server. All right, that looks a little bit better. So we want to say specs equals xstat concat. Server PA. Okay, so this needs to have a trailing slash for this application. And we were printing stuff out here. All right, so now unit info. There, we got some Legion units. All right, so, oh, and we actually have the output for all the images got put into this. I guess they were put in this project, okay. I don't know that I ever, yeah, I never uploaded this one. Add Legion info and icons. All right, now this actually has to go over to another project. So donation config. That should probably be public. This is basically a replace here. We are currently in Legion. Donation info. And let's double check this. I don't think there should be a public elm. Config is just changing that to be the live server. As long as we're somewhat careful, we should be fine. Oops. Oh, I still had something else copied, apparently. Donation info, PA, copy. Oops, sorry. There's a qualifier tomorrow. I think it's 1800 UTC, which is like 12 for me. And then the actual charity event will be on the 25th, same time. I actually need to get that information together and post it somewhere on my channel page. Yeah, there we go. Oh, is it 24th? Okay, I've had the date wrong in my head. Yeah, 1800 UTC. So we were at donation info, copy, donation config, public, paste. It's effectively replace. And then I think I just have unit info in here. Oh, except I have to, I ended up converting it to a JSON, it looks like, for some purpose. So we'll replace that. Then I need to donation config unit info.js. Yeah. So that should be a straight up conversion of that. I suppose I should actually fire things up and see if, make sure it actually works. So we want localhost, localhost. Proc file, I shouldn't need win stuff here, but I'm going to need a whole bunch of tabs. See, this is mostly the local information right now. For what I'm doing, We need a server. I think I need to take some of these out actually. So new tab. Oh yeah, it doesn't like tabs. All right, form and start minus f proc file dot start donate minus f proc file dot dev. So that's a compiler. Form and start minus f start web minus f proc file dot web. So we have web in proc file dot dev. So we have a supervisor server, and that might be enough for, well, it's not going to show anything really until we get localhost. Oh, and what port was this on? 5000. Okay, so these are still. Ooh, and I have to, you know what? I replaced the directory. Oops. Actually, what we can do. Since we have source control. Oh, that's right. This stuff doesn't work now. Apple broke something. So we got all this new stuff. We have deleted. Ooh, we got 2 deleted. Oh yeah. Modified. That's fine. Git checkout. And nuke launcher. Oops. There we go. Actually, defaults to cache when debugger is open, right? Did this not do what I thought it did? Oh, I actually, no. I manually added the entries for that, didn't I? So unit info, so nuke. Nuke and anti-nuke. What's your changed? This is donation info. Wrong window. All right, so stage. Okay, so I must have actually put them after their respective things. So anti-nuke. Okay, that did not copy. Okay, apparently you can't copy in this application for no good reason. Git diff, public. Either of them should be fine. So Control V column, And oh, this is all the added stuff. Oh, no. Okay, I guess I just scrolled past it. So we got the anti-nuke. We also need the nuke. Anti-nuke, anti-nuke, wait. One shot, anti-nuke, anti-nuke. Oh, and the ammo. Where did I have that before? I had that below it. Ah, so I saw those two things, just assumed it was the two launchers. Okay. So that's data. Oh, maybe I don't have it focused. Where is... Oh, actually, that was a Chrome thing to enable full refresh when debugger is open. No. All right, so what are you getting? Oh, I modified one of the files. Nuke. It's the JSON. I think we're actually probably end up using the JavaScript. All right, anti-nuke launcher. One-shot anti-nuke launcher. Nuke launcher. One-shot nuke launcher. There we go. We got a missile. Okay. So that fixes that. Now I'll have to go fix the menu itself. And right now this is coming from actually an embedded file in here. So this is fine for this step, we think. So we got a bunch of extra images. We got modified, modified, modified. We had the config, which we actually switched back for local testing. Add Legion icons and unit info. All right, now, let's see, is it the same file? Because normally there's the mod that defines the menu. I had a copy of that here, but I don't remember if I had also wrapped this up in JSON versus JS. Menu.js. Okay, yeah, so this should be the same file. So it shouldn't really matter if I edit it here or in the unit menu mod. Okay, that was fine. Did forget to open some things though. Okay. Okay. menu. All right, I think I already had this up. This would have actually been nice with separate monitors. We can probably make something work here. Oh, we're getting... Okay, that's done info. We're done with you. So right now, you know, I was working on separate descriptions for these. We'll see how they look. So I think we actually had Hermes in here before. Yeah, orbital probe. It's going to turn into A1. 5. Advanced air fighter. I'm pretty sure we had Phoenixes before. They were a little bit advanced fighter advanced. But it was 10 for 10. I switched it around to 1 for 1. Which means we don't really get discounts, I guess. Maybe that's an issue. And then transport got put back in after the balance change. Oops. Those were 1 for 1. We do not currently have you or... Oop, that doesn't work. Is it... Nope. Nope. I guess it'd probably be matching bracket. There we go. So we don't currently have that. There was some discussion about putting some that, but I never got a definite answer on that. Took factories out because of general complexity. Took you out. Factory. That's it. Myself, I kind of wanted to avoid the fixed units because I have to pick the places for those. Ion defense is still there, currently at 5. Teleporter factories, that's going to get replaced. Right, that category name changed. And this became 2 because it used to be a little bit cheaper. So... Alright, so I currently had these as 2 and... Maybe we should have rearranged these to be like basic advanced, but eh. Marshall may have already started doing graphics off of it. No. 2 and 3. Orbital battleship. This turned into C. Support commander ended up moved up into the shuffling. So those are currently not in. Did Kaiju? I guess I felt like I had enough combat stuff. That's placement. It's placement. Tank nuke is awkward placement. One-shot nuke launcher. Oh, I did kind of move that into advanced because it's possible sniping. So orbital nuke launcher, rocket. 3. We're going to swap out some Titans, but we're still going to have a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, we only got to 7. Oh, I must have made some final changes in the online document. Okay. All right. I thought I had done stuff locally first. I guess not. All right, Hermes, Phoenix, Pelican, Meteor, Purger, Umbrella, Colonel Praetorian. Oh, actually, I cut down the... Just because there's a lot of options. Okay. Yeah, Thor, Tyr, Zeus. All right, just try to cut some of the unused Titans. All right, so how do we get to 8? Oh, Ragnarok. I guess it's kind of in the Planet Destroyer category, but it's a little bit more of an investment. So we cut out U. That is the orbital. I think I may have... Yeah, push Titan Air up a little bit, because that was really popular. Was that a copy on the 30? Or do we consider orbital things a big deal? We'll see. All right, now we have to actually fix and add units. So 1, 2, 3. We need B1. And this is where we're going to want unit info, probably. So is it called Meteor? Well, we can get the name of it. So it's the carrier, that's the drone. Nope, we lost it there. Yeah. There's an easy replace in. Okay, so Legion Air Carrier, and then B4. Oh, also the energy plant. Consumes energy, requires energy, basic energy, advanced. And then 4. Oh, used to be a 3. It's 2 of them now. All right, just got rid of that category. And this is Purger. Oh, was I thinking Purger or Necromancer? No, I think this is... shoot, this is supposed to be Necromancer, I think. Because it's a medium... it doesn't have the cost. I mean, I guess the stats would have worked as well. I did kind of mean this to be the advanced unit at this level. Instigator, Purger, yeah, okay. Unless I'm looking at culmination of purge or project or something. So this should be fixed. That needs to be fixed. And I need to make sure that that's going to get into the graphical menu. Oh, we've got conversation. Let's see. Set to put in and labeled served. Let's see. All right, so we'll do this for now. We're getting some more feedback here. So that's that. So we go, yeah, Necromancer. And I made a slot for that at before. And Ion Defense. Let's see, then the D's became C's. So we had C1, we had C1, I just did an L on it just to kind of keep it the same place. Support, Barge, Fire Support, Support Fabricator, Support Commander, Proxy Commander, yeah, Colonel. Wait, oh no, this is the actual, it was Praetorian, Auxiliary, L-Bot Support Commander. All right. We got that. I stuck with the basic ones, just like the engines and the control modules are I think pretty much equivalent between the factions. So just went with the more familiar ones. Nuke launchers really, I don't think are any different, so that's fine. All right, so we swapped out some of these. Titan bot and tier, Titan orbital, and Titan air we left because that was really popular, and Ragnarok we left. And for these we had gone 10, 20, 20, Titan bot. Yeah, G4. Because we didn't see too much of them on when it was the Atlas. Oh, I still have the 3s in here. I don't really have 3s anymore. I mean, that would be a somewhat smoother curve. Alright, suggesting to cut down Hermes. Which I guess I mean, they're like cheap units, but a little bit of size, a little bit of sight. We want to keep the 3s. Well, we can mostly fix this up without that. So bot Titan. I wasn't entirely sure about this one. So that would actually be kind of a smooth curve. We could cut out some of those price tiers. Titan Air was like super popular. And then you are more on point. Orbital probe's probably fine to cut down. I'm trying to remember. What did I have? Yeah, I mean, we could maybe move Phoenix back to... That starts to really gut the $1 level. There was some talk of putting like Infernos or something back. Yeah, I think the main reason I cut out... See, what did I cut out? I think booms were... Yeah, that's mainly a technical limitation right now. I'm currently set up where I can only do automatic multiplication of donations if it's all the same unit. So that's just kind of saving some trouble on my end trying to make that work. And people can still do, like, if we put Infernos back, they could just do 10 of this and 10 of that or whatever. Well, I mean, I don't. All right. I would have liked to have all this feedback be a couple weeks ago when we were working on this, rather than right up against the edge here. All right, so that is the draft. That is like the first draft. So I can see if I did not have any typos. Nope. All right, so we actually had a compiler error on that. Oh, or we had a error with the JSON, and because we're kind of jamming it in early on. Yep, unexpected flag. Did we perhaps copy something with a trailing comma here? So if I go to a JSON validator, it's going to tell me about the trailing comma, and possibly a lot of trailing commas. Oops, that didn't copy. V around U. So we know, yeah, unfortunately I had a lot of trailing commas in here, which is fine for JavaScript, but not for JSON. Oh, in fact, I'm not using quoted values here. So it's going to tell me about, like, yeah, so that's useless. All right. Got comma. Can you, like... Oh, okay, so that actually is... Ah, we left a donation out here. It's a... oh. Yeah, well, okay, so the complication here is that I am going to visit family from Tuesday through Friday. So, I mean, yes, we still have a couple of days, but I have to get this worked out and the servers updated and stuff pretty much before I leave. Yeah, people usually do make, actually, 1 second here. Actually, do we still have, that's 28, actually 2018's in demo mode, so that works. So if you go to donations, you can see the kind of stuff people were doing in previous years. Yeah, yeah, oh yeah, and I think I got interrupted saying it's FFA. So yeah, you usually got 4. I think we talked about possibly doing 5 this year. And hello. Okay, Benny Aluma. How's it going? We're running into some last minute discussions about menu contents here. Uh, yes. Well, for me, well, for PA, no. Uh, I read up and Twitch does approve of like doing like fan art and stuff on the game channel, and this is something that might be of interest to Planetary Nation players that would probably not find me on the strict coding side of things. And it's mostly data files, so it's not like really heavy coding either. Uh, okay, so I mean, 1-for-1 is probably reasonable on these, since most of the time you only need one. Then we have a bunch of things to update. Because that is one of the few things. Well, we've still got 2 umbrellas to balance that cost. Okay, yeah. So let's see, what was it we were looking at? Oh, bumping the Phoenix back to 10 for 10. And then maybe putting in Infernos again. Well, are you basing that on player skill or on player popularity? Because part of this is that donations can tip that balance. Player skill, yeah, I mean that'll help a lot, but if they're not the ones getting the support, it's going to be a little bit of an uphill battle. All right, so if we moved, thinking of Vim again, we moved Phoenix back to 10. made it 10 Phoenix, we would have room. What were we at? 8 boombots? Which one's getting into the multiplication I didn't like? They're basically combat. What's our base description? Our baseline description for these? Self-destructs. You know, no, these are the base descriptions. Oops. Yeah, I'm doing them again. Yeah, I do. I have not, thankfully, not yet had a problem with links. I'm going to redefine. Yeah, I was looking at, and I think that these descriptions have to go into my unit info thing. Oh, okay. So again, my conversation's crossed. I might be able to look at something quickly here. All right, so we've got that. So that's an accurate description. I guess we have comparable ones of comparable length. So then this would be, so the $10 channel is all combat for the most part. It starts getting into some of your orbital, and these could be done as colonies. All right, so that has to be, well, that could be mirrored over there later. I don't know that anything's going on right now. 1 minus 3. Command. So unfortunately, I can't easily bring that up on, well, I could switch screens. So close that. So we've got, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. So is this part of a calculator? Or just trying to actually enter numbers? Like, is the 1, 3, like you're just saying, okay, 1, then 3? Or is that like you're actually typing in 1 and a minus and a 3? Just typing out, oh, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so if I type in 1 to 3 in command, say as a number, or type anything else, it goes back until I type 1 to 3. It goes back. Okay. Admittedly, I'm not up on current C++, but go-tos are not favored, last I knew. So typically that would be done in more of a loop that would get a number, switch on it, and it was always just go around the loop again. Right. Well, this is just case one. The number is actually a character. We have a default that says try again, go back. Okay. Well, if you want to make it any number, what you can do is you can actually, since the characters, like a car is, and I don't know if this changes a little bit on some systems, but traditionally car was just a 256 options that got mapped onto ASCII. So like character 1 and character 2 and character 3 have numbers associated with them. So you can check if something is greater than or equal to 1, and I forget if 0 is I hope it's below 1. You know, see if something is in the range of numbers, and you can say, okay, yes, that's a number, a number character. And then you can even you should even be able to subtract the character from the character you got to get a integer value out of that, or if you want to start turning it into a real number. Well, I mean, that sounds like Visual Studio, which is Microsoft's compiler, and then there are various iterations of the C++ standard, and then also I know like I think things may have standardized a little bit, but like C has always considered that things like the size of an int and such can vary by the machine you're on and such. I think things may have gotten semi-standardized there as far as how many bytes int and float whatnot is. Yeah. So you can find out specifics on that. I believe it was the size of operator. Yeah. And that they're probably defaulting to 64-bit by now. I don't know. So that might affect the 6432 might affect some things. Probably pointers for sure. Float is if you need decimals. Yeah. So if you need to do fractions of numbers, you'd have to use the float or a double of something like that. If not, then you would probably use an integer as long as the max and such is good for you. Oh yeah, WHR is like wide char, which lets you deal more with Unicode and those types of things. I never got too heavily into that on the C++ side. All right. Back to this. So we've got some late feedback. We think that having some basic combat units down here might be good. Oh, and we have to move our fighter advanced from U. We moved it down to C3. Back to a 10 for 10, which lets us have discounts again. And then we can use that slot to put back in. I could probably do this by difference, but actually, where were these things in? So bot bomb used to be A1. And then we took out landmine, so it's not going to, yeah, A4 is not currently a supported thing. So we can actually swap these. Can I? Not easily. A1, A2. All right, orbital probe, we need bot bomb. Okay, oh, and do we actually get this to come up? Okay. So I was originally going for, and I don't have anything in here to break out the sort of basic, the recommended ones yet. That would be more on the front end. We've got metal energy, bot probe there. I feel like the combat items should probably actually be together. I never really rearranged this, and since we're changing stuff anyway. So should they be at the front or the back? Oh, I think we lost our one here. I guess it'd be kind of easier to move economy up. All right, and these are all potentially B5. I just was being lazy about it. Yep. So B1, B2, B3. This is going to be using a modified one-shot nuke. So it's just you get the one launch of it. It made things a little awkward before, where I modified it so that the nuke launcher came with a missile, but then you had to compensate the cost of the launcher, which affected normal gameplay. All right, so that gets your economy, combat, sort of a combat defense. We got our builders, our interplanetary stuff, and then all our missiles and things. It does look a lot tighter when you're got it down to just the icons, because this was originally sort of formatted. So I guess my question is I haven't played enough Legion. What does no more damage? Nuke launcher. Yeah, they're not going to be preloaded nukes. We just have the single missile. Okay. Yeah, I don't have the experience with Legion, so my impression was, well, if they're both orbital battleships, then let's kind of tend towards the one more people are going to be familiar with. So I guess the only question then is if it's better. Is this still an appropriate cost? Because we actually had situations last year where somebody donated 2 omegas very early, and it just took somebody out of the game. Okay. So it is functionally different. We then have to ask if the cost and immediate availability is appropriate. When they are seen, yeah. Well, we have time limits for the game enders. So all of these are at like 25 minutes or so, I think. So the nukes actually used to be down. I moved them up here partially because somebody could donate nukes right off the bat and have a snipe. And just because it kind of put all of our larger cost things into that group. The big limit right now is that there's not a whole lot of mechanical enforcement of that. So delaying them largely comes down to me remembering that that code is time limited. So like having all of those things BG helps with that a little bit. And having them kind of be those big things. So yeah, it's mainly a, I can't quite think of the right word, a sort of process execution problem to have these fine-tuned delays for everything. So right now I've got, I thought I had hover descriptions on these. Oh, nope, I have it up here, which if I don't have the, and that might sound a little bit better when I turn off the demo mode. And I was also thinking about possibly revising some of the descriptions for units we're actually using. That's actually one thing that's not well represented in this very compact format. For most things, it is 1. Umbrellas used to be 3, and I wanted to combine the levels a little bit. Did I? I did forget to change that in here. Yeah, so 8 boom, we put those down to 1, or quits that we should do that. Pelican, metal, energy, all of these. I think this is 2 umbrella. 1, 1, 1. You're 10. 10 phoenix. And these should all be 1. So that's something that I didn't easily fit into here with having both the code and the cost on there. And if we added another block, it would really start to kind of cover things up pretty much. Oh, and actually, I've got the descriptions over here too. Actually, I do kind of need to, well, I mean, I'll try to place these on metal deposits, but it's not actually a restriction on my placement. So, like some of that, I was thinking of going and editing the descriptions for that. Of course, now that's more manual edits that aren't easily mechanically updated. Although I guess we don't expect a lot of those updates to happen very often. Was I mostly using... Yeah, I did modify some of these. Trying to get these as descriptions that are a little bit more friendly to people who might not know the game as well. Economy. Yeah, I kind of used the Necromancer as the self-destruct. So this, as we currently have it implemented, would have to be done in here. So we would have bot, bomb. Okay, so it doesn't... Copy pasting that. Does not copy paste here. Oh, maybe if I didn't do... Well, no, because it's probably copying the carriage returns, essentially. And this was originally JSON, so it was formatted there. So this might actually be... what are you? Orbital probe. I was doing this completely manually, wasn't I? That's not an entirely bad description, actually. It's a little bit longer. Pelican transports ground units. Yeah, that's a little bit simpler. I guess that does say air transport in their version. So advanced metal extractor regular. I wonder if I guess it's not really different. Oops, that was an undo, not join. I don't know if I had the proper... Okay, advanced power catalyst. Advanced power catalyst. Now, can we... Well, that works better with the manual sort of paste. Meteor. Air carrier. Yeah, I was trying to keep the descriptions shorter, essentially. Necromancer? Mobile Siege Walker. We have it. What's a purger? And if you're playing the game more, you'd know that. Umbrella, take out orbital units above it. I think we can go simple on this one. Ah, Vim again. Going back and forth here. All right, Carnell. Build advanced structures. Durable, high damage. Accurate. But like, what does proxy commander mean? Oops, wrong. And then Praetorian. That's a little bit more compact. Can build, although we want to say, what can it build? Just Legion structures, which a new player wouldn't necessarily know, but it says, hey, there's something different here. So we had an argument for the Legion version of the space battleship. What's our? I was trying to balance this out at one point. So Hermes, Pelican, Boom, just because they're kind of the similar things. Catalyst, Necromancer. Those are a wash. We got 2 for 1 on Titans. We got the Phoenix. So that leaves Boom and maybe Colonel as some of the main combat units that are still base game. I guess Booms might get used a lot. And then for base, yeah, Scout Transport. And then I got another argument for the shield generators and putting Comet back. And I'd have to look at the UI if it can actually reasonably maintain the sort of recommended unit thing. All right. Anyway, we were going to you. What does Omega say? Orbital battleship. Accurate but longer. Probably fine. Phoenix can move between planets, can only attack air targets. Okay, well, I mean, I guess I'd... Well, look at this. Planetary fighter. We don't have regular fighters in the menu, so stronger doesn't make sense. Air fighter, able to move between planets. I'm kind of favoring... Oops, wrong thing. Simplicity most of the time. All right, Hallie. Small to medium celestial bodies. Move them where? And it is, I mean, size is really, it's defined by the map maker, so. Okay, we got two kinds of catalysts here. Build 5 on a metal planet to activate the Annihilator. What does that mean? I mean, I guess the Annihilator sounds cool, but. The 5 required might actually be important, though. It, where did we get that from? I think we had some accidents here. Oops, I escaped that out. One shot. All right, this is Salt Titan. I would favor a shorter description here. Tier, I think actually, yeah, I pretty much just took that from the base description. Zeus. Simpler description. And oops, we got a syntax error here. Extra quote. Accurate. So I added short cooldown. Built on, yeah. All right, so we have an argument. All right, well, so we've got we've got some of the menu stuff done, but it's looking like there is suddenly a whole bunch of discussion. All right, so the Imperator would balance the balloon route a little bit, although it would kind of favor Legion for most of the combat units. Imperator. I mean, that's actually a decent description. Imperator. So if we're going to borrow that, we should probably synchronize this. Yep, nope, that was the... And we need U. Orbital. Is it also Battleship? Ooh. Nope, that got the wrong. Right, this is the Vim Yank. The wrong path. Okay. So there's still a lot of debate about number of units and things, which I don't know is going to get settled anytime soon. So I might need to wrap that up there for the time being. I don't know if the final changes will be worth doing a stream on. We'll have to see. Because I just have two things to do, although I didn't get, well, I should have started earlier. Did not get to a few things. So we've got... I did stick with that, didn't I? Pretty long. I've been going off of, well, it's a combination of trying to simplify things, looking at what was popular in past years, and then, that was sort of a little biased by the first menus, which didn't have a whole lot of just like straight up like tanks or anything. One idea that I did have, and it's a little awkward because of different cost, was instead of umbrellas, doing like a Blue Hawk or a Panzer for the anti-orbital. They're a little bit more versatile, but then that versatility maybe, I don't know if it makes sense, because they are advanced units that are kind of in this range. Maybe it'd only be one per donation then? I'm not really sure how they fare in 5 levelers. Yeah, well, we've had Vanguards in most years, and they never end up being popular. Yeah, so I think umbrellas used to be 1 for 3. I kind of, enough things fell out of the $3 tier that I removed it, and then just put 2 and 5. So these, I believe, have a higher metal cost. They're not as good at the anti-orbital function, but then they are more versatile. Oh, just because Pelicans are better? Yeah. We could put Vanguard plus Pelican. Make that an option with the extra cost of the Vanguards to do it. I forget where we had placed them in years past. Well, that might still show up in the diff. Donation info. Tank, armor, that's an A still. Tank, heavy armor. Okay, so they were actually a $3 before. And I guess if there was enough of that stuff coming back in, we could just reintroduce $3. Because we have that, and we have the umbrella. And there was also a request for Comet. And I think teleporters... I should probably just find the old menus. Be easier to read. Well, okay, so that's not super easy to read. Let's get a proper preview on that so we can zoom in a little bit. Yeah, so Vanguard was 3, Umbrella was 3. What else were we looking at? Oh yeah, teleporters. Teleporters were in 5. I was looking at making them, because it was 2 for 5. So you have both ends. And then I was looking at setting up Legion Teleporter, Legion Comet, which actually worked better. I might have actually moved them down to 1 because they were so underused before. But yeah, we could possibly recreate a $3 tier with that. There'd be enough stuff there to justify it. You'd have umbrellas back there. You'd have the 2 types of teleporters. You'd have vanguards that might work out better with pelicans. Obviously bad choices. Ah. Interesting. Well, yeah, like I've bumped up the price on the Air Titan because those were really popular before. So hopefully that balances out a little bit. I think I ended up cutting... I don't remember why I cut kaijus. Maybe I was just trying to balance out the number of combat units. And they were just so dominating. So that might make sense. I might even have enough space for it here. I have to redo our letters. So it used to be Vanguard, Umbrella was last. We're looking at Teleporter, which used to be up there. So Vanguard, we had Umbrella in this category, if that even matters anymore. And we do need one more line. It was Comet and probably just like Legion Teleporter, right? Flying Teleporter, L Teleporter, Skybridge. I guess Teleporter would be a clearer name, but it kind of makes sense to have that pair with the Comet. So then, let's see, baseline description of Vanguard. I might want to truncate it a little bit. You are combat, combat defense. Actually, we kind of had an umbrella here. So that goes away. And I had descriptions for these at one point. I'm pretty sure the mobile points can only be exits. Static teleporter, and so it doesn't like something here. It just doesn't like teleporter. Oh, and we misspelled special. And then that becomes, that reintroduces B. So you have to become, maybe I should never rename these. Just left a weird gap, and yeah, I didn't want to, because I didn't want to leave a weird gap in the lettering. Even though we still kind of had G out there as game ender. So that gives you something obvious to lift with the Pelicans. Although that could be quite a little thing there. That does put teleporters back in. Well, I guess teleporters are a little bit better for multi-planet than just here have a factory. Although factories are up for discussion again. Kaijus. Well, yeah. All of a sudden there's a whole bunch of things cropping up that people... Where were Kaiju before? Kaiju were 2 for 10. If they're expensive, you can maybe do 1 for 10. Although I'm guessing that they cost less than the orbital battleship. What is... Well, that's on PA Lobby again, isn't it? Although I don't know if it's going to link from here, because this is going to be actually the lobby. Yeah. Units. So for comparison, we have orbital. So the Imperator itself is 14,000. Kaiju is technically naval. 1/10 of the cost. That actually makes me wonder if Imperator makes sense at this point. Or, well, we used to have a $15 tier. I kind of shuffled the nukes around. It used to be kind of up there. But I don't know if I mean, if undefended, I guess an Imperator could do as much as a nuke. But just as with the nuke, if you don't have anything beforehand, you're kind of in trouble. And so that puts us back. I mean, yeah, even at the 10 for 2, they were quite popular and quite effective. So, yeah, that's where you get into these really odd, weird situations on this. I'm not quite sure how to handle. All right, and we want to take this down to you. Now this just makes a mess of everything. All right, so we've got, so this is going to take over the B slot. So 3, 3, Vanguard. We did, we had the umbrellas. Which moved down to 1. Oops. We did too many things here. We have to reintroduce those and it becomes a 2. We have to go 3. And we need to update your description. Oh, it can fly interplanetary. Oh. That's kind of important. Interplanetary. Yep. That almost makes that sound like that should... I kind of don't like having them in separate price tiers. But we know from experience that teleporters at 5 don't get a whole lot of use. And Skybridge. And then we need you. And well, first we need to have a thing to update. All right, and then we did metal extractor. This all moves to capital C. C, C. C, and then you move to D, 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 D. All right, A, B, B, B. These are all 3s, 3s. C, 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 D, D, D. That's kind of a nice spread of costs, at least. If I did one more 1, like perfect 4s. All right, so the suffixing was more for factories. There's been an argument for factories again. Yeah, I really don't know. I guess if the Imperator is better... Yeah, it's one thing that makes me nervous. The Imperator is better than the base battleship, Omega. And it occasionally caused some snipes. Is that... Of course, the kernels were pretty good, too. I guess another option would be not to have the static teleporters and just say, well, I guess they'd have to build a teleporter if they got that, so. All right, I will try to bring the online document up to date. And maybe I can bounce it off the strategy Discord again. See if we can get any kind of actual agreement on what makes sense. All right, so what was it? There we go. It is going to be getting time for me to go get lunch. So that is, I guess it's a little prettier in that. We lose some of the unit numbers. So that is it for now. We'll have to see if we can... I was doing it mainly just because we had a Legion teleporter and the Comet, so it made sense to do the matching Legion teleporter. Now, the base game teleporter is called Teleporter, so we could mix that up and it'd be a clearer name. Yeah, I know technically it works. I was just thinking thematically... If we've got one Legion teleporter, have the other Legion teleporter. But I guess that would be kind of nice, kind of in the sort of mixed faction thing to have them both. So I guess I'm fine with doing that to simplify the name. Make it clearer for somebody else. Or for a less experienced person to say, hey, a teleporter must teleport stuff, right? So I was trying to do a little bit with the descriptions, but it's still, it's hover, it's actually, I can't have a good angle on it here. In there. Anywho, thanks to Gamer Siren, Destructive Phase, Kurt Katsuni, Sturmius Leopard, Telephony Cry, Secretless, Instant Speed Live, Game Dev TV, Heskin TV, Catnox, Dog and Lake, Dead Makes Games, Thylos, and Osserat Gaming for helping me. I was mostly, well, I mostly was avoiding factories, just because we've got the two, because it's like, for the basic factories, it's like 6 things. Hello, Phlox. With all the Legion units. And then for anybody... And hello, Obs. Anybody who's coming in who doesn't know the game as well, that's like, well, what is Legion, what is base, what does this mean? I mean, I guess you can say factory build stuff, and they pick one. But it's like a lot of menu options. It's, a lot of stuff to filter through if you don't know the game as well. Factories a lot of times used to give people bases in other planets, so it was like a super cheap option for that. So those are my arguments. If there's enough weight on other ends, let's talk about it. Like I said, I want to get back to maybe hit up the strategy channel on Discord again with the updated menu and say, okay, I've been getting more comments. Really, guys, we have to wrap this up soon. I'm pretty sure that may have been an early draft, and it was just kind of trying to reduce options. Yeah, but well, that's also comes back to the structure thing where I'm in charge of placing that. It makes me a little bit uncomfortable to try and read the situation and find a good place for it. All right, so if this would kindly, yay, work. So yeah, my schedules have been really, I guess I've been kind of tending to go late on these days. An Uber advisor? You mean from PA Inc? Ah. Yeah, well, I mean, I did try to open up to general Discord, and it, like, no one's qualified for the tournament yet. Oh, for placement. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I think that had actually come up before as one of the solutions to that problem. Let me just take a quick check here. Although, if they're not in that round, maybe they have some interest in the outcome of the round, though. All right, so this is a weird stream where I started playing to the PA audience, but also doing some sort of coding, technical stuff. I also have not been keeping up on a whole lot of the RTS stuff, so I don't have a whole lot of things to recommend there. Oh, and I left stream over up too long. We got to talking. Oh, yeah. There's that. All right, well, we had somebody in here earlier asking about programming questions, so... O3F001 is Let's Run Streams, where he makes himself available as a programming tutor. So if you do have any further questions, he's someone who is definitely willing to help with that. From what I've seen, he can be a little quiet when he's working on his own stuff, but yeah, if you engage him, he'll be talkative. So that's it for now. Yeah, if you want to continue this conversation, let's take it to the Official Planetary Annihilation Strategy Discord, and until next time. Audio.